What if I told you that a story, a tiny story, just 50 words long, could teach you pretty much everything you need to know about building suspense and crafting a killer twist? Well, today, we're going to break one down to unlock some seriously powerful storytelling secrets. So here's the big question we're tackling today. How on earth do you build a whole world, create real tension, and then deliver a twist that actually lands in just a couple of sentences? The secret, you'll see, is precision. Every single word has to do some heavy lifting. All right, let's dive in. Every great story has to start somewhere, right? It needs a setup. So let's look at how this one paints a very specific picture with, maximum efficiency. Just listen to how every word here is working for us. It's not just any evening, it's a cold one. He's not just some guy, he's a poor man. And the forest? It's quiet. Right there, in that one sentence, we get this immediate feeling of isolation, of vulnerability, and this kind of eerie stillness. You know, this is a perfect textbook example of what writers call exposition. But instead of getting pages and pages of backstory, we get everything we need to know in 15 words. That, my friends, is storytelling at its most lean and mean. So let's just get a clear picture of our main guy, John. We know he's poor, we can guess he's tired, probably hungry after a long day, and he's all alone out there. He is completely, totally vulnerable. And that feeling is the foundation that all the suspense is going to be built on. Okay, section 2, an unsettling sound. All that quiet peace we just established? Yeah, that's about to be shattered. The tension is about to ramp up big time. And there it is, the magic word, suddenly. It's such a classic storytelling tool because, well, it just works. It completely breaks the rhythm of the story and tells our brains, okay, pay attention, the rules have just changed. That quiet forest isn't so peaceful anymore. Now it's a place of potential danger. And the sound itself? Oh, this is a brilliant choice. See, it's not a description of a sound, it is the sound. It's so primal, so guttural, and it needs absolutely zero explanation. We, right along with John, know this is not a chipmunk, this is danger. This is the exact moment the entire tone of the story just pivots. We've gone from this kind of sad, quiet walk in the woods to a heart-pounding, what's going to happen next moment. The silence is gone, and it's been replaced by a threat. So what's the formula here? It's actually beautifully simple. First, you create a baseline of quiet. Step 2, you break that quiet with something unknown and a little menacing. And then, step 3, this is the most important part. You just let our minds do the rest of the work. What could be making that sound? Our imagination is often way scarier than whatever the reality is. Which brings us to section 3, expectation versus reality. The story has built up our expectations, and now it's time for the big reveal. So what is making that sound? And there's our answer, a big brown bear. The story basically confirms our fears. John is scared, a not slow turn he does. That just builds the tension even more as the threat becomes real. The thing we were all imagining is now standing right there. But think about it for a second. In John's mind, that grrr probably conjured up this image of a snarling, vicious monster ready to pounce. The reality is a big brown bear. Now, don't get me wrong, that's still dangerous, but for a split second, it's just there. It's an encounter, not an attack. But hold on, because the story is not done with us yet. And that leads us to my favorite part, section 4, the surprising twist. This is where the whole narrative pulls the rug out from under us and shows us how masterful it really is. This sentence right here is the entire heart of the story. The bear, our big symbol of primal threat, doesn't attack. Instead, it's revealed to be weak and hungry. All that tension we were feeling doesn't end with a fight. It ends with this stunning moment that changes the whole context. I mean, what a brilliant flip. We expected an aggressor, a predator. What we got was an animal in the exact same situation as our hero, John. The bear isn't a monster, it's a mirror. And in that moment, the story creates this really profound, unexpected connection between two characters we thought were about to be enemies. So if we boil it all down, what did this tiny story do? It used incredibly efficient exposition to set a scene, some really powerful sound design to create a threat, it built tension perfectly, and then, the master stroke, it completely subverted our expectations to deliver a much deeper theme. And really, that's the key takeaway here. The magic of this story, and really of all great stories, happens in that gap, that space between what we assume is going to happen and what the truth actually is. That's where we find surprise, empathy, and all the good stuff. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. We started with a story that seemed to be about a man in terrible danger. But after that twist, who is the story really about? Is it about John? Is it about the bear? Or maybe it's about the shared struggle of two vulnerable creatures meeting by chance in a quiet forest. Now that's the power of a great twist.